Welcome to another edition of the DUALpreneur Virtual Mastermind. We are getting some great information. Who knew that a quarantine would pull so much awesome information out of everyone and ask so many great questions? And today we are super excited. I think there's a whole lot of people that are excited. We're on Facebook. That's how we communicate. They're now encouraging people to get on Facebook because they're saying you can be quarantined, but don't isolate. So get on social media like Facebook. But since we have a captive audience now, isn't it about time people knew what you were doing for your business so you can make some more money? Well, they have ads. Have you tried ads? Did they not quite work out for you? Do you just not know what to do with the ads? I've tried it, didn't work for me. And then I met this dude called Fitz. And then Fitz told me what I needed to do. And then all of a sudden people started giving me money. How about that? It was kind of that simple, you know? So I figured within the DUALpreneur community, that there are some people that we don't have like millions of dollars in budgets like the major corporations. We probably don't even have hundreds of dollars for a budget. We might have $50 a week. We might have $10. I don't know. But whatever the budget is, you too can do Facebook ads. And it's not just doing the ads. There is a specific way that you need to do it to maximize your budget. And that's why I called on Mr. Fitz here, the Facebook ad and Instagram ad marketing expert, to be able to tell us and teach us some strategies on how to leverage Facebook and Instagram ads on a small budget. Fitz, thank you so much for joining us today. And I see that your camera is off. We need you to put that on since you are one of the guest speakers.
It was just on.
Yeah, no problem.
Give me a second.
No
Technology
problem.
is
He's going to turn that on. So for those of you that are new to DUALpreneur, I know Fitz invited a lot of people, and you may not know what DUALpreneur is. DUALpreneur is a professional or person with a full-time or part-time job that also has an entrepreneurial venture or a side hustle. So we believe in the dual engine income philosophy. For example, if you're on a passenger plane, that passenger plane has at least 2 engines. Why? For fail-safe. If one of them babies conks out, you have another engine there to keep you afloat. Same thing with our incomes. If our main incomes drop, like a lot of people are dealing with right now with this quarantine, then all of a sudden you're floating on no engine. So you need to have that dual engine. You need to have that side hustle business, that multiple streams of income, because we got multiple streams of bills. We need to make sure that we can stay afloat during times like these, or emergencies or whatever, or just to have some added income. I have people that are still working, but they still have their side business because they want to be able to pay off debt faster. They may want to travel. They may want to do some things, or they may want to transition from working full-time into full-time entrepreneurship. DUALpreneur is a smart way to do that. We provide support services and education to DUALpreneurs to help them be successful and more profitable. One of the things that we do, of course, is the virtual masterminds, where we come together, we learn together, ask questions, and we get experts to share their expertise. They just love us like that. I don't know what to tell you. We are so excited to have Fitzgerald Hardnett. He is the guru for Facebook ads. And Fitz, I'm going to leave it to you. Introduce yourself. Let us know what you're all about and teach us something. How can I make some money off these Facebook ads if I got a small budget, dude?
Hey, woo! Here we go, baby. Buckle up and hold on tight. Your boy's in the house. I'd like to thank God for the opportunity to bring this information to you all. I thank you, Madam Money. Look, I'm going to jump into it. It's real. It's real. I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to go. Buckle up and hold on tight, baby. I'm going to go a little fast because I want to answer some questions that pertain to you directly in your business. All right. So from the beginning, bam. Can you all see my screen?
Yes.
All right. Small budget marketing, baby. How to use Facebook and Instagram ads to grow your business. Who is this for? It is for small businesses, authors, coaches, entrepreneurs, and consultants. If that's you, you're in the right place. Who am I? I am a man that is a boom. What's that? Serial entrepreneur, baby. I've done a lot. I've had a lot of successes, made $250,000 in 2 businesses that weren't network marketing, and I've lost what seemed like 7 figures. I've been through foreclosure, bankruptcy. I've been through the whole gamut of entrepreneur. Look, my first business, it was a retail Christian sportswear store. And turns out I didn't know what I was doing. My business, it was on life support for real. I was working long hours only to make a little bit of money. I ended up buying myself a job is what I did. And so eventually what happened, they closed my doors. They closed the doors of my company. And so one of my personal missions is helping entrepreneurs keep their doors open. Because when you have a business, that's how you feed your family. That's how you feed the world your goods and services. So what I ended up doing, like any good red-blooded American, what can Brown do for you, baby? I got a job to help take the stress off of me at that time. I mean, that caused a downward spiral. It ended up, like I said, I went through that tragic moment with bankruptcy and foreclosure, but in that, my son's mother was killed by a drunk driver. So that caused me to be a full-time single dad, which was rough. But during that time, I also became a student of marketing. I learned what I didn't know. I invested money in getting trained. And then I was able to be featured in Huffington Post. I've taught classes at the Small Business Association for them. I've done stuff for local real estate associations. And I've been featured in other spots that I couldn't find a logo for. But this right here is what I'm most proud of. That right there is my heartbeat. He is what drives me. Like I said, his mom was killed when he was 12, which was almost over 9 years ago, and we've been crushing it. That's him in his t-shirt line that we produce. So my question to you is twofold. Who are you and why are you here? And I don't mean what is your name, that kind of thing. Who are you in the marketplace? What are you known for? Think about that. Who are you in the marketplace? How do you serve the world your greatness? And then, why are you here? Think about this. Why are you here? You're here today in this webinar because you value something that you saw pertaining to this. And you decided to exchange your most valuable resource, which is your time, to be here. You could be anywhere else in the world, but you chose to be right here. So think about that for your business and your offering. What can you do to become essential personnel? What can you do to position yourself so that way people give up their time and their money to be where you are? This cat right here, he was a cold animal. His name is Willie Sutton. And he was known as a bank robber, for real. He was that dog back in the day. And so they asked Willie when he got caught, "Hey, Willie, why you rob banks, champ?" And Willie is credited with saying, "Because that's where the money is." Why you rob a bank? Well, that's where the money is. So why do we use Facebook? Because that's where the money is, baby. That's where the money is. Now, I wasn't always I was not always on the straight and narrow. There was a time when I knew these guys really well, the Alphabet Boys, the DEA, CIA, FBI, and the ATF. You know, back then, they knew a lot about everybody. They knew a lot about the people who were making moves. But today, the new Alphabet Boys, right here, These are the new alphabet boys. Between these three companies, and you can throw in Apple too, they know more about you than your honey, your mother, or your father. Because how it works is, when you go looking for something, what do? You Google it. You got a rash on your foot. You put in what you think is an incognito window, rash on my foot. Then you click on something, and guess what more likely happens? That page has a Facebook pixel on it, which is a tracking device, a piece of code that tracks you. And then when you go on Facebook or Instagram, guess what? The company that had that serves up an ad based upon what you searched. Amazon, they know what size you were last year. They know what you like to read. They know what you like to buy. Amazon has infiltrated your way of living. So between these three companies, these are the new alphabet boys. So again, why use Facebook? Because that's where the money is. Here's some numbers, because numbers don't lie. Men and women lie, but numbers don't lie. As of June 2019, there were 2.41 billion monthly active users. That means every month, 2.4 billion people jumped on Facebook. And I bring this up because people always say, man, my audience is not on Facebook. My customer's not on Facebook. Yeah, okay. 1.59 billion daily users as of June. So 1.59 billion people log on to Facebook every day. Now, here's a graph that's very important, because one of the topics I said I was going to talk about, why should you use Facebook? And this right here is part of it. In 2017, Facebook made $40.6 million. $40.6 million in 2017. In 2018, they made 15 million more to 55.8 million. 2019, they made $70.6 million. Now ask yourself, what does Facebook sell? When can you go in a store and buy some Facebook something? Nah, you can't. So what does Facebook sell? Well, sold to the highest bidder, baby. You on an auction block. You can put it like this. Who is that? Put in the chat. Who is that? And what movie did he play in? I can't see the chat. Who is that? Radio Raheem. And what he has on his hands is the way I feel about Facebook. In the streets, they tell you the same thing make you laugh or make you cry. And so I have a love-hate kind of thing going on with Facebook. I love Facebook from a marketing standpoint because it collects so much data on my customers and my ideal people. It's a warehouse of information. On the other hand, I hate Facebook because it collects so much data on people, on me. So it's a love-hate type thing. The same thing make you laugh will make you cry. So I ask you, what's for dinner? If you don't have a seat at the table, you're probably on the menu. What does Facebook sell? Facebook sells you. So let's go fishing. Repeat after me and stop playing. Repeat after me for real. I can get my product or service in front of anybody using Facebook and Instagram advertising. You got to know that to be true. You can get your product or service in front of anybody. Doesn't matter who they are. So the only question that Facebook wants to know for real is, oh, my gift ain't work. Oh man, technology hurt me today. But the only question Facebook wants to know is, can I take your order? Who do you want to serve? Who can I bring to your ads? Who can I bring to see your stuff? They're trying to take your order. Oh, now I want to work. Ain't that something? But wait a minute, settle down a little bit before you get too excited and try to order up something. You got to have principles, because most times people don't know how to use Facebook because they're working off of tactics, and tactics will come and go, but principles will never fade away. And so a principle to being successful in using Facebook ads is, I call it the 3-Air-2. And what it is the first A is action. When you're crafting your Facebook ad or campaign or Instagram, it's all the same. Facebook, Instagram, it's run from the Facebook Business Manager. So the very first thing you got to figure out is, what is the objective of your campaign? What action do you want that person that Facebook is going to serve up to you to take? What action do you want? That's important. You got to figure out what action they want, because whatever the action is will determine how difficult it is to get a person to do that, or how much it costs you. Number 2, who are you talking to? The second A is audience. Who are you looking for? Who do you want to talk to? So it's your ad needs air, 3-Air-2. The third A is attention. Look here. If they don't pay you no mind, if they don't pay you no attention, they can't pay you nothing else. They can't pay you no money. So the first thing your ad has to do physically is stop the scroll. That's it. You got to get their attention, baby. You got to get their attention. So what I'm giving you right now is why people say Facebook ads don't work and how to avoid that. You got to have a principle and a foundation to work off of. So what is the first one? The first one is action. The first A is action. The second A is who's your audience. The third A is attention. You got to grab their attention. If they don't pay you attention, they won't pay you anything else. And then once you get their attention, you got to be interesting. Now, what does that look like? Imagine you're in the airport and somebody says, Asha. Now, you're walking, you're going to stop. They got your attention. You're going to look around, but they ain't talking to you. So what you going to do? You're going to keep on rolling. That's the same thing with your Facebook ad. You may get their attention, but if your content is not interesting or pertinent to them, they're going to keep on scrolling. Walk on by. Now, let's get to the R's. The first R is retarget. You got to retarget with more content to do the second R, build a relationship. And that's stay top of mind. You got to be top of mind. The last thing you want to do is somebody say, oh, I forgot you did that. They say, oh, I forgot you sold vegan stuff. Oh, Ashley, I'm so sorry. Or they say, oh, Javon, I forgot you did financial planning. I just went somewhere. So you got to get content that keeps you top of mind, because you want to grow. Boom. Now, here's the problem. A lot of times you got a mistaken identity. Another reason why people think, well, this is one of the reasons why Facebook ads don't work for people, because of a mistaken identity. And what I mean by that is, people say ads don't work because why? I didn't get any immediate sales. No one's joining my email list. No one's booking a call with me. Well, have you established a relationship with anybody? That's like you going on a date with somebody off the break and you want to hit it. I mean, it may happen, but the chances are real slim. So think about this. You're on Facebook or Instagram. Are you sitting there with your debit card in your hand scrolling, just waiting to spend $500 or $50 on something? Probably not. Are you scrolling through Facebook and off the rip, you see something and somebody said, give me your email address? You're probably not going to do that because you don't know them. So these are the problems that people say Facebook ads don't work. And what I want to help you understand is like this. Think of your business as a football team. And you know, in football, they got an offense and a defense. Their goal is win the game. It's one team with one goal, Excuse me. But they got different jobs. The offense and the defense are on the same team with the same goal to win the game. But again, the defense job is to stop the other team from scoring, and the offense's job is to score. Now, can defense score sometimes? Absolutely. Absolutely. But that's not all the time. That's not the standard. That's the exception. So think of your business having two teams, a marketing and a sales team. A marketing and a sales team. Now, this is all talking about a mistaken identity and why Facebook ads don't work with some people. Because they're trying to get the marketing team to do the sales job. But your team, your marketing and your sales, you bring them together, it's one team. And the goal is to build revenue, but they have different jobs. Different jobs. So you say, Fitz, man, what are you talking about? What marketing and sales, they different? Absolutely. So what is marketing? In a broader sense of the term, marketing is simply everything that happens before a person takes action. Everything, your ads they see, the content you put out, that's your marketing, your message, your logo, all that stuff is your marketing stuff. Now, what is marketing's job? Marketing's job is simply this. I'm gonna take a complete stranger and get them to know, like, and trust me enough that they want to buy my product or service. That's marketing's job. I gotta put out content. I gotta have for all you graphic designers who think logos are important, I ain't gonna knock you down, but that's part of the process of getting somebody to know, like, and trust you. And then once they do that, your marketing's job is to walk them to the front door of your sales system. So Facebook and advertising and marketing, Facebook small budget marketing, its job is to get them to know, like, and trust you enough to want to do business with you. It's not so much to make a sale. Now, it can happen, just like defense can score a touchdown. Your ads can make a sale, but that's only through the relationship being built. What is sales? Sales is everything that happens after they see your ad and take action. Real simple. The job of your sales is to turn that complete stranger into a paying client or customer. And so I kind of spent a lot of time on this right here because this is the foundational stuff that people don't do and then complain about it not working because you don't have the right objective. You don't know who you're talking to. So here are the top 8 reasons why Facebook ads fail from my experience. Unrealistic expectations. You throw up a $2 ad and trying to sell a $4.97 course and you think it's going to happen off the first touch. Nah, partner, ain't gonna work. You don't stop the scroll. You don't get their attention. And remember, if they don't pay you attention, they ain't gonna pay you no money. Not of interest to you. Walking through the airport, somebody call your name, false alarm. Wrong audience. You trying to sell Kobe beef at a vegan convention. It ain't gonna work. It's not gonna work. The wrong objective used. You're trying to make a conversion doing video, let me slow down. You're trying to make a conversion, a sale, running video view ads. Not gonna work. No strategy. You got a pot of spaghetti, just throwing it against the wall, you spraying and praying, hoping something works. And your offer sucks. Don't nobody want what you're selling. And finally, your sales process is broken. If everything works in your marketing, gets into the front door, and then nobody's home, you're not gonna make any sales. So hopefully this brought a level of clarity to why Facebook ads have not been working. I'm gonna pause for the calls for a minute. Check on y'all because I can't see. Y'all all right? What's going on? Where we at? Got any questions so far?
If you have any questions, go ahead and unmute yourself and ask your question or raise your hand or put it in the chat if you're shy.
Yeah, please do, because you got to understand the foundations of a good Facebook ad is basic marketing. You got to know your audience. There's no two ways about it. You got to get their attention. You got to have some interest to say. and roll from there. No questions? We good? Boom, jump back into it then. So clarity. Uh-oh. Come on, girl. So let's jump into a strategy with small budgets. Truth bomb. If you don't have the time, then you must spend the money. If you don't have the money, then you must spend the time. If you have neither, then you must get a job. So I said that because the small budget strategy, you got to put some work in. There's no magic bullet. See, Facebook ads do several things really well. They allow you to test your marketing message, and they allow you to build up the know, like, and trust factor very, very quickly. You can have 1,000 first impressions 1,000 times to 1,000 different people, all with Facebook video ads. So the first part of the strategy is create 3 to 5 pieces of powerful video content. The kind of content that kind of positions you as the expert, so people know that you're the one to deal with. Like, you'll answer some of their objections. The first, if you look at your process as like a roadmap, what is the first problem people have? What is the first issue that they're going to have an objection to? Create some content that deals with that. That's important. Then, in your process, have content that helps them complete a small win. Help them get a small win. Don't try to give them the whole kit and caboodle. That's why in this training, I only say I'm going to deal with 3 things. Why you need to deal with Facebook, why it doesn't work, and then a strategy to make it work. So create 2 or 3 pieces of content that helps them achieve the desired transformation. Now, take the first piece of that content and upload it to your business page. Boost it to your ideal market. And you can go $1 to $2 a day. Retarget the people with the next piece based on how much they consume. And what that means is, by you doing video content, you're able to make a custom audience based upon how much of your video the people watch. That's important, because a person who watches less than 25% compared to somebody who watches 50 or 75% of that video, who's the hotter audience? Is it the 25% or the 50+%? So that's going to help you know if your content is hitting. If people are not watching at least 50 to 75% of your content, that lets you know that your content sucks. It's not what they're looking for, or it's going to the wrong audience. So, a recipe for Facebook ads. Research your audience. If I got time, I'll jump into audience insights and run through that real quick. What is the goal? You got to have a realistic goal for your ad. If you're thinking that you're really going to if you're going to go out on the first date and hit, I mean, you may, but that's going to be real expensive. What is the benefit to the people when they see your ad? Is your content essential to them? Remember, you're here now trading your most valuable resource, your time, because you're hoping to get something of value that's going to help you. Get images and creatives that speak to your audience. You got to stop the scroll. You have to stop the scroll. You got to get their attention. You ever been talking to somebody and their eyes just glaze over, or they're on their phone scrolling, doing whatever? You don't have their attention. They ain't paying you no mind. And guess what? They ain't paying you no mind. They daggone sure ain't gonna pay you no money. And you gotta understand. You gotta test. You gotta test. There's no for certain pattern combination is gonna work, because your audience changes. If there was a guaranteed script, trust me, I'd have charged y'all five G's off the rip, because I got the golden roadmap. Yes, there's a roadmap, but it's got to be tested and tweaked to fit your audience and your product. How to make them work. Determine what your goal is. What does success look like for you? So part of the workbook that I created, you gotta write down the goal of my ad is this. So before you start crafting your ad, you have this workbook that's beside you, and you fill it out so that way it helps guide you as you create the ad and choosing your objective. What does your audience want? What is important to them? It's not about you. Nobody cares about your widget. Nobody cares about what you do. How does what you do become essential to them? Think about right now. Part of my platform that I talk about is become a painkiller. Become something that's so indispensable people can't live without you. Right now, the government is dictating, the local government is dictating what's essential. They're shutting down businesses that aren't essential. How can you position yourself in the eyes of your audience to be essential? List 3 things. What's the benefit of your ad? Remember my copy today. Okay, copy is the words that I wrote. The words that I wrote told you you'll get 3 benefits by coming today. List those 3 things. Now, here is the format for your ad. Lead with a question, targeting a pain point. Are you struggling with keeping your lights on? Are you struggling with paying your, well, you can't say paying your bills, but are you struggling with some kind of financial matter? Are you struggling with finding a diet that's going to work? Ask them a question. Ask them a question that's targeting their pain. Like right now, one of the biggest pains right now is, how do I make money online? Then create some then get some, what's that word? Relevant, there we go. Relevant images. Test, duplicate the winners, and scale it out. What you want to make sure that you're Tom-tot, T-O-M-T-O-T. Tom-tot is top of mind, tip of tongue. You want to make sure that you're top of mind, tip of tongue. And Facebook ads, Instagram ads allow you to do that for very, very cheap. You can boost posts for $1, $2 a day and blanket an area or audience so that way they see you. Consistency is the key. Your marketing doesn't have to be expensive. It just needs to be consistent. Is that Amber? Hey, Amber. Your marketing doesn't have to be expensive. It just needs to be consistent. You don't get fat overnight. It's a consistent eating of donuts and Baskin & Robbins pralines and cream at 11:30 at night. And the consistent things lead to breakthrough. Now, I touched on some things in the ads workbook. If you head over to adsworkbook.com, it's a pre-order for a detailed workbook that will walk you through how to set up your ad. Because the setting up of your ad, based upon the principles, will give you success. So you head over to ads, A-D-S, workbook.com. Write that down. I'll throw it in the chat. Adsworkbook.com. It's on pre-order. It'll be delivered to your inbox on Monday. That's it for the formal stuff. I'm ready for questions that right to your situation, because I gave you the principles. I'm ready to rock.
Yeah,
what you want to know?
I really liked when you gave the formula as to how to build the ad. That was really cool. And hopefully everybody took notes for that and watched the replay, because having that guide, you can use that to write multiple ads and see how they work and if they work. I think is it Cardinal Papery?
I can't see the chat. Let me see.
Yeah, it says I ran a few Facebook ads and they got good traffic to the site, but very little conversion. I don't really have any sales funnel, but the link from my ads go directly to the products page.
Okay. So are you serving your ads to a warm audience, people who know, like, and trust you? Or are you going to a stranger and say, hey, kiss me and let's hump?
Wow. Okay.
I mean, let's just keep it 100, because sometimes I got to tell you, your baby is ugly, you know? And when dealing with Facebook ads, it's about building a relationship and a rapport with people. You know, some things are instantaneous, you know, impulse buys, but that's very few and far between.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Um,
Ashley says, not yet. Everything makes sense. Is this recommended on IG and Facebook? So what happens is Instagram ads are ran through Facebook Business Manager platform. So what I'm giving you is a strategy to use, whether you're running Facebook ads or Instagram ads or any ads for any social media ads for real. You got to have principles in place. You got to know what is your outcome. What do you want the folks to do when they come to your ad? What's their next step? Work backwards and then create your content that leads them to that. Now back to what's the difference between a Facebook ad and a boosted post? Yes, there's a difference. So a Facebook ad ran through the business manager will give you a bunch of different targeting options and opportunities to make a custom audience, which you can use when you boost the post, but you can't make a custom audience through the boosted part. So you got to use the ads part, the business manager, to create your custom audiences. So that way you can use them when you boost them for $1 or $2, but you're not gonna be able to boost a $1 or $2 ad through the Facebook ad.
so what
Directly.
is boost like when you do ads, but what does boost do versus an ad? So is it
They're
the
both
same
they're,
thing?
they're both advertisements. Let me see, what can I get to my computer? They're both advertisements, which is nothing but a promotion. But most times, let me see here. FB, how do I get on here? Facebook.com. And what page are we gonna go to? We're gonna go to, can't go to that one. We'll go to this one. And let's see here. I don't even know if I can boost one from this page. See if I have anything on here that can be boosted. Hey, brown girl, you're beautiful. Hotcoloringbook.com. Shameless plug. So boost posts. So can y'all see that?
Yes.
I just saw that it just started. Expect delays due to coronavirus.
It's been there all week. But they're relatively fast, or at least they've gotten to mine rather quickly.
So with this right here, I can literally choose one of the audiences that I've already created through the targeted section right over here. And choose. They want you to go 4 days, but they don't control my money. You control your own money. You understand? So I can take this one thing right here and boost it for $2. I can spread it out for 5 days, it'd be $10. But what's gonna do, it's like an engagement post. It's more for it's gonna hit whatever audience you choose, but those people are prone to interact because Facebook knows so much about us. So let me show you from another way to show it to you.
One of the questions that's being asked is, I don't know if you did this already, but can you clarify what you mean by what do you want them to do? Swipe is the real answer. What other options should we think about?
Okay, so great question, Asha. So what is the end goal you want the customer to do? Because you got to think about the journey. And if you're trying to make a sale, do they trust you enough to swipe? Why would I swipe up? Have I built enough rapport have you built enough trust with me to get me to swipe up? people follow people on social media for a while before they make purchases most times. It's because they built up goodwill in the marketplace. So if I don't know you and I see an ad that says swipe up, I'm not going to do it. So you have to have content before the swipe up request, because again, you're asking me to jump in the bed with you off the break. Does that make sense?
Yeah, the other question is, I sell culturally inclusive stationery, so I market to be who's like the industry leader paper source page with the filters African American women with a disposable income over 45,000.
Is there a question in there?
I don't know if there's a question, but that is a statement of what she is doing there.
Okay. Plug your business, sis. Good job. Plug it.
After traffic to website, do you recommend all retargeting options, landing page, product, shopping cart, etc.?
After traffic to the website, do you recommend all retargeting options? After they come to the website, I definitely recommend that, well, you retarget where they are in the buying process. Did they abandon your cart? Hopefully you got a pixel on your page for each step in the process. Your landing page should have maybe like a page view, depending on what's the goal of that page. If it's a product, which is a product view, is different, it's more valuable than just somebody landing on your home page. If they took the time to scroll and find a product and then click on that product and then land on that product, hopefully you have a dynamic product catalog created that will automatically show them that product in a retargeting sense. Mm-hmm. So shopping cart, you want to have an abandoned cart sequence. So you got to understand, people get busy and forget. So the better your system is in capturing them, it's not. Let me write this down real quick. Sales is not linear when it comes to Facebook or social media. Sales is not, I see this, let me act like I'm in school. Sales is not, the person is here and you're trying to get them here. Sometimes it's a direct beeline. If they know you and been around you and you build that goodwill, like there's a clothing brand called No Definition, and they have some tremendously Afrocentric products that are great, and they build goodwill in the marketplace. So if she drops something, her audience is going to jump. But a new cat, not so much. They want to see a couple pieces, read some stuff up on her, and then they'll come back around to it. So you want to make your sales cycle kind of circular with your content, so that way you got ads running to them, showing them, and keeping them engaged.
So to give you all some context of the example of what he's talking about, Apple does that. Google does that. For example, when you do Apple, you don't just buy one product. You may start off with an iPod, right? Because you like the music. But then they're gonna create that goodwill and then cross-sell you, and then now you got the iPad or whatever. But now you need a computer. Who are you going to turn to? Well, they done hooked everything together, so it only makes sense to get a MacBook. And so now you need a phone. It only makes sense because everything's connected to get an iPhone. And then what happens when they have updates? Everything updates. And so what are you going to do? Your life is already in that sequence. So you're just going to upgrade everything within that sequel. That's why Apple people say Apple, Droid people say Droid. But that's the same. Most companies that are successful, they have a circular sales model. They don't have a linear model. Some do because they just want that one sale. But if they want you to be a repeat buyer, or they want you to refer, or they want to cross-sell you something, it is a circular sales model.
So Ashley says, how much do you recommend people spend starting out on ads a month? That's a good question. And my honest answer is as much as you can, because what you're doing is buying data. You're buying information about what works. And the faster you can get that data, the more effective your other dollars will be. If you only have a small budget, you have to go slow to buy the same data somebody with a larger budget has. So hopefully that makes sense. I'm not trying to be flippant and avoid the question, but spend as much as you can, start out. Huh?
Is it okay to speak over audio? I didn't know.
Yeah, that's fine. Ashley.
Okay. So that makes sense. That makes complete sense. So if I started out with a $150 to $200 budget, or even, let's say, because I'm going to start my Facebook ads or executing those in the next week, does it make sense to start off with, let's say my budget is, I don't know, $100 for, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks to get the data and then figure out how to, I guess, retarget that, or however I need to use that data in order to get people to actually purchase my merchandise.
Okay. Let me ask this question. Are you a product or service-based business?
Right now I'm product. I'm starting another business that's going to be service, but right now I'm just talking about my apparel line, Collective Rural Apparel.
Okay. And do you know who you're targeting?
You mean like specifically? Yes, like I'm targeting like obviously vegans, people, let's say 25 to 40, even though it could be younger. It just depends on, because my shirts are like 38, and then my sweatshirts and hoodies and stuff are like $50-$60. So people obviously who want to spend that type of money. I don't know if that answers your question.
Okay, so you got to think most e-commerce t-shirt brands, it's going to cost you anywhere upwards of $15 to $17 for a sale to get a customer. Do you know how much it costs to get a customer right now for yourself currently?
No.
Okay, so that's going to play a major part in how you move, because let's use round numbers. If it costs $20 to get a customer through the ads platform and your budget is only $40, you're asking Facebook to go through thousands of people to show your ad to 2 people who may be in the mood to buy your product at that moment. That's why you got to have a complete system in place that's going to show them the product, allow you to retarget to and remind them about the product, and keep it in their news feed until they're ready to either die or buy. So that's why having a smaller budget with a product-based business is definitely a challenge, but it's doable.
Okay. So what is a larger budget? I mean, obviously thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars.
If you're able to spend $10 a day, for like 10 days to buy the data quickly and then see what's working, what people are clicking on, what they're buying, then you can double down on what you find out that works. But if you go slow, which is nothing wrong going slow, just a slower process. So $10 a day times 10 days is like $100. And you'll be able to see what's going on. And I would spend 80 of that up front on the reach, and then the last 20 on the retargeting the people who have shown interest. If there's any way you can do a video or long text about your product, so that way people can interact with it, show a level of engagement, that'll be killer for you, because that will let you know they're interested in this.
Okay. And are you suggesting then doing kind of like A/B testing? So having 2 ads running at the same time, or just initially to just get data to do one ad that's video based enough that they can interact with it, and then taking that information after those 10 days and then figuring out what the best next step is. So maybe that would be like A/B testing, or kind of moving forward.
So what I would say is you would have the campaign level, and you want to have ad sets, 3 different ad sets, which would be, let's say you're targeting vegan women, 20, whatever the age bracket is, 24 to 30, 35, and you're having an audience that likes yoga or whatever your targeting options are. You have those 3 options, correct? And then you would have 3 ads, 3 of the same ads running up under each of these. So that way you're testing to see which ad hits. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Because you don't know what audience is hitting. So you got ideally you have these 3 running for a product-based business. Ideally. Mm-hmm. So that way you'll start to see metrics that'll say, okay, this ad is hitting pretty good, whereas these two aren't getting a lot of traction. Mm-hmm. And then one of the challenges with product-based business on a small budget is having your ads even being shown.
Mm-hmm. We're running out of time. This is really great information. Ashley, thank you for those great questions. I appreciate you coming on and showing your beautiful face. You're so cute. Before we go, Fitz, how can people, there's some of us who, we understand the information, we just don't want to do it. That's just not what I want to do. How can they work with you or get in contact with you to work with you?
Absolutely. You can schedule a call at consultfitz.com. I put in the chat. Boom. But the first thing you need to do is get that workbook, because that would definitely help you out tremendously. And that's adsworkbook.com. Let me put that right there.
And then consultfitz.com.
Absolutely. Questionnaire there.
Awesome. And so how can people follow you and stay up to date with some of the tips that you put out there?
Catch me in DUALpreneur, the private Facebook group, or my personal page. That's it.
Awesome. And what's your personal page? It's just a.Fitzgerald Hardnett.
Boom. I put it in the comments.
And you have Instagram, right?
No, I don't use Instagram for my personal. I just run ads. I do not use it.
Okay. So as you're doing that and putting that in there, thank you so much. And we'll definitely share it with the group, as well as if you're watching the replay or you're watching it through one of the sessions and lessons, please make sure you let us know. And if you have any questions, you can email info@dualpreneur.com, info@dualpreneur.com. Before we go, if you would like to share what your business is and what you do, please turn your camera on so we can see you and let you have a little time in the spotlight. We'll start with Ashley, since she has her lovely face in the building. Ashley.
Hey, can I answer one question real quick that I missed?
What's up?
Ashley asked the question, is this the same process when you have a service as it is when a physical product? No, service-based is a lot easier because you can show your expertise very quickly and keep it going. So service-based, you have content around a problem. Like if you have a physical product, show why you're essential is one of the things you need to do. But being a service-based business, you can talk about content for days, and content builds a relationship. So when they're ready to buy, you're top of mind, tip of tongue.
Awesome. Great job. Great job. Ashley, unmuted you. So unmute yourself. Tell us who you are, what your products are, how can we find you and support you?
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Ashley Walker. I own Collective Roar Apparel, this is one of my shirts, is a vegan and empowerment brand I launched last fall. I also am starting a business kind of around the name Transformational Women, that is around helping women of color who have experienced trauma and challenges and helping them overcome those challenges. So that's more of a service-based business. My t-shirt brand is at www.shopcollectiveroar.com, and the other one is in the works. But yes, thank you for the information. It was really great. I hopped on a little late, but I liked kind of what I went over so far, so it was great.
Great. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank everyone for joining us as well. Till next time, you will see some information. So thank you again for joining.